Hey guys, welcome back to Hike Oregon, and thank you so much for 3,000 subscribers. Every time I hit another 1,000 subscribers, I do a question and answer video. The first one I actually did when I hit 500 subscribers. So I've done a total of 3 Q&A videos. This will be my 4th. So let's get into it. I'm drinking my tea here. This is yogi tea, and it is the calming relaxation tea. It's like lavender honey or something like that. It's really good. And of course they're blowing leaves outside. As soon as I start a YouTube video, neighbor starts blowing leaves. Let's get into the first question. I have questions right here, so that's what I am reading. Hike with Mike asks, have you ever hiked in the eastern part of the USA? Which of the big trails do you want to hike? For example, AT, PCT, Ice Age Trail, Florida Trail, etc. So yes, I have hiked in the eastern part of the US. I used to live in Atlanta, Georgia, so I have hiked around Georgia a lot, and I did do a 80-mile section, I think, of the Appalachian Trail when I was 16 years old. That's the extent of the hiking that I've done in that area. Do I want to go back to that area and hike? Probably not. It doesn't really interest me. The big trail that I do want to do is, I obviously want to do the PCT, but in sections. I'm not going to through hike that one, but I do want to through hike the Colorado Trail. Chiller Cal asked 2 questions. The first one is, what is it that drives you to do your hikes? And what do you enjoy most along the way? What drives me to do my hikes at this point is the fact that I am Hike Oregon. So I have to go out and scout new trails for the website. I have to do pretty much different hikes every time I hike, or at least I try, so that I have new content for the website. What do I enjoy most along the way is probably photography. I absolutely love finding the great view, or even just focusing on a little plant or a leaf and just getting that picture. I absolutely love capturing nature in photography. His second question was, which hiking YouTuber is the one you would like to do a hike with and why? That's definitely Dixie from over at Homemade Wanderlust. She is amazing, and she is just so cool, and I absolutely look up to her. I love her videos. I love her just style, and of course her accent is just the cutest thing. So it would definitely be Dixie. Matt Cook asked, I see that you use different cameras for photo and video. Any desire to get a single camera for both? What are the pros and cons? Well, Matt, here you go. These are the 2 cameras that I use. This is the Nikon D3200. It's, I would say, 5 years old. It really sucks for video. It is great for photos, absolutely fantastic for photos, but the video quality on this is very poor, and the built-in microphone is absolutely ridiculous, like not even worth anything. So I don't use it for filming. The main reason I got this also was because of the flip screen. I have tried filming with this sit-down videos, and it is very hard because I can't tell if I'm in frame. This is super easy when I'm filming myself, especially the sit-down videos. The main reason I got this is the Sony HDR-CX405. I did some research on this, and it's a pretty decent camera as far as stability, and that's the main thing I researched, was stabilization, like built-in stabilization, because I just use iMovie to edit, and iMovie doesn't have any sort of stabilization features, so I need to get stabilization while I'm filming. So I got this. Now, it's not the most stable thing, but I really like it because, especially because of the zoom, 60 time zoom. So as you probably have seen in a lot of my videos, I can zoom in really close on wildlife. While it may not be the steadiest zoom, because I'm usually not on a tripod, it's still really cool to be able to see the wildlife when it's that far away and to see it up close with the camera. And then, like I said, the built-in microphone is like superb. Like, it can hear everything. Sometimes it's a little too much because like a tiny gust of wind comes in, it sounds like a hurricane. And then another thing, like I said, I really like the flip screen. So there's the screen and it flips around so that when I'm filming this way, it shows me what I'm filming. So I can tell if my face is cut off or whatever. So those are the pros and cons of these two cameras. It's annoying to have two cameras. Yeah, you're right. But they do completely different things. So I don't think I'll ever go to one camera just because a filming camera and a photography camera are generally going to be pretty different. If you want really good film, it's gonna have different features than really good photography camera. In that case, I probably won't ever go to just one camera unless, you know, in the future they come out with something spectacular. But so far I haven't seen anything that meets my needs. So this is gonna be my setup for quite some time. I would like to get a better quality recording camera sometime in the future, but it's definitely not necessary right now. If you go to the Hike Oregon website, I do have an anonymous survey you can take. It helps me to get to know my audience better. And I thought I would include this because I thought it was interesting, and I'm sure some other people are wondering this as well. So, anonymous person from the survey asked, tell us what happens to your blog/website when or if you have kids. That is a great question, but I am at this point not going to be having kids. I have chosen to not have children, so if down the road at some point I adopt a child, it would be an older child and not a baby. So, you know, at that point, that's way down the road, and who knows if Hike Oregon is even going to be a thing then. So I don't know. No kids in the immediate future of any kind. Tim Berg asked, are you ever going to write a book about hiking? Well, yes, Tim. I'm actually working on an Oregon hiking guidebook right now. I wanted to have it out before the holidays, but it is proving to be way more time-consuming to put this book into the format that it needs to be in. I thought it would be a lot easier. I have written most of the content, so I thought it would just be like putting all the stuff in, but it's way more work than I thought it was going to be, so it has taken me much longer, and it will not be out before the holidays, unfortunately. But yes, soon. It will be coming soon, in the next coming months. Booty Man, Booty Man 72 asked, would you be interested in selling larger prints of photos you take out on the trails, like poster size or suitable for hanging on a wall? Yeah, so I, like above me, you can't see, but above me I have the 8x12s and they fit perfectly into frames. They're beautiful. But if you want something bigger, I can definitely get bigger prints. They're obviously more expensive. I wouldn't be opposed to selling those at all. And I think an easy way to sell my prints, I think, would be having you guys go through Instagram and just picking out the photo that you want, rather than me going through all my photos and picking some that I think are good. That way you can just pick out whatever one you want, and I can get that photo enlarged and printed out for you. Poster size? I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I don't think I can get that size printed at like one of my local places. And I think a poster wouldn't be like photo paper. It would be more like a poster paper. So it wouldn't be as good of quality, I think. So I think just a large photo to put in a frame would be probably the best option. Samuel Vasquez asked, what kind of car do you have? I have a 2016 Subaru Crosstrek, and it is in the beige sandy color. I think they call it khaki. The color is really cool. It like changes sort of like when it's sunny out, it's more of a white sandy color, and when it's gray and rainy out, it looks a lot more green. It's really cool. I love the car. I definitely wanted something with a little bit higher ground clearance. The car I had before was a Volvo station wagon. It had like 2 inches of ground clearance, so I scraped like every rock on every back road. This is a perfect car for me. I do wish I sometimes had higher ground clearance. I kind of wish I had a Jeep, but I could not afford a Jeep. So went with the Subaru Crosstrek. Tim O'Brien asked, where is your favorite place to shop for your gear? Favorite brands and least favorite brands? My favorite place probably would be REI, just because of their amazing return policy. You have a full year to return the gear. Doesn't matter if you have worn the shoes 6 times, you can return it in a year. Anything goes wrong with it, if you hate it after 9 months, return it. I'm one of those people that feels bad returning shoes that I've worn on 3 hikes and then end up not liking, but I have done it. I have definitely worn shoes after 3 hikes and decided these are not right for me. So, and when you're buying expensive gear like hiking and backpacking gear, you might buy something like a sleeping bag or a tent during, let's say, the sale that they're currently having, which is in November. So let's say you bought your tent and your sleeping bag in November. You might not try those out until like June or July, because right now it's not really camping weather. So anywhere else that has like a 30-day return policy, you'd be crap out of luck, you know? You would have to be stuck with those items, figure out selling them on Craigslist or Facebook or something somewhere else. At REI, if you don't like the tent that you bought 6 months ago, but you just tried it out, you can then return it. So that's why I like REI. Let's see, favorite brands. I wouldn't say I have like favorite brands. I have my like go-to brands, like for backpacks, Gregory or Osprey is my go-to brands for that. For tents, Big Agnes, by far my go-to. Clothing varies completely. I have all sorts of different clothing. I mean, I like Under Armour a lot. They make stuff that fits me really well. For outerwear, I used to get a lot of North Face, but I find that it doesn't hold up very well, especially for the price. So I tend to stick with like the REI brand. It holds up really well and it's much cheaper. Yeah, I don't really have a favorite, and like I said, my least favorite I would say at this point is North Face. It really doesn't hold up. Gloves and stuff, they make pretty good gloves, but as far as jackets, I wouldn't go with North Face. I just really kind of dislike brands that use their name to bump up their prices. Like North Face is one of those brands. Patagonia is one of those brands. Granted, Patagonia tries to make like sustainable stuff, uses good materials and stuff like that. So I understand that they're a little more expensive, but I feel like they were hyped up at one point in the 90s. Patagonia was like the thing, and they were able to kind of skyrocket their prices, and it's been like that ever since. So that kind of bothers me with brands. Fish Ride Camp asked, what is your favorite thing to snack on whilst on the trail? Well, I will show you. It is Lara Bar. I will show you right here. Lara Bar. Cherry pie is my favorite flavor. Lara Bars are amazing. They have little ingredients. For example, this one has 3 ingredients: dates, almonds, and unsweetened cherries. That is it. That's all that's in here. And they taste amazing. So they generally have like 3 to 5 ingredients. They give me like an energy boost because of all the sugars that's in here. The dates have lots of natural sugar. The fruit has lots of natural sugar, and then the nuts give you fiber and sustainable energy. So these are a great snack. And for example, this bar is 200 calories. So that's a great snack. Paul D. Green asked, you said you've hiked portions of the Appalachian Trail in Georgia and you said you didn't like it. What was it that you didn't like? Haha. The main thing I did not like about the Appalachian Trail in Georgia was that it was wet the entire time. Now, granted, I live in Oregon, so when I go backpacking somewhere for the summer, I'm on a summer vacation. I want it to be warm and sunny and fun. So to go from like an Oregon winter to a summer backpacking trip where it's raining constantly and just damp and it was just gray, and like the entire 10 days it was just miserable. Our clothes were constantly wet. My stuff just never dried. And it got like moldy smelling. It just wasn't very fun, honestly. There was so much like elevation gain and loss on the trail for like absolutely no reason. Like on the PCT, when you go up, you're going up because there's a mountain, and when you're at the top you get this beautiful, view, and it's like amazing and great. And then you go down a little bit into the forest, and then you go up again, there's another view, right? So in the Appalachian Trail, not like that at all. You're just going up and down, but you're still in the forest. There's little to no great views. There's some, but few and far between. So that's what I did not like about the Appalachian Trail. Isla Carpenter asked, I know there's several of us wondering if you are still planning to move to Central Oregon, especially after you just made your awesome new office space. Well, Isla, yes, the office space is mainly awesome because of the stuff that's in it. So I can take that anywhere. As long as I have a room where I can reset this up, this can go anywhere. Yes, I am still planning on moving, whether that be permanently or just for a few months to do like extensive hiking in that area. I'm not sure yet. My husband got offered a job recently where he kind of had to make like a 3-year commitment. And so at that point I was thinking, okay, I'll just go over to Central Oregon by myself and just hang out for like 6 months and kind of extensively hike in that area and do all that. But at this point, the job may or may not go through. There's like funding issues and stuff like that. So it wasn't very like thought out by the person that hired my husband. So who knows at this point? And this just came up like today. So I was gonna answer this question really concretely and be like, yes, I'm going by myself for 6 months, and there you go. So I was gonna go from April to October and just live in a trailer or something like that, or rent a room, something like that. I don't mind doing that. I just really want to go over there to do extensive hiking. There's a lot of hikes that are great short day hikes that I can't do from here. You have to do them from over there to make it worth the drive. Yeah, I'm still game to go. I don't know, he might come with me at this point if the job falls through. We might move there for like a year just to see what it's like, see if we want to permanently move there. So I don't know, we'll see. But yes, I plan to go sometime in the spring, whether it be for a year or just 6 months. I don't know yet, but that's the plan. Okay, Wolfpax asked, why did you start making YouTube videos and what motivates you to keep doing it? Okay, why I started was I realized that YouTube is the #2 biggest search engine. So Google's #1, YouTube is #2. So I figured I could reach a lot more people with my YouTube videos and then get them over to check out the website and stuff like that. The other big reason why I started doing YouTube was honestly I knew it could make a couple of bucks and I needed to have some income in order to keep my Hike Oregon website going. It costs me around $30 a month to have the website up. Generally a website is not that expensive. I know you guys are going to comment, but I do have the online store, and because I have the online store it does cost me more to have that. There's a lot that goes into the online store and so that costs more. Yeah, around $30 a month. I just couldn't do that out of pocket anymore. and I was like, okay, I have to do something to be able to keep the Hike Oregon website up. So I started YouTube. I knew it could make a couple of bucks and eventually fund the Hike Oregon website. What keeps me going, right? Was that the other question? What motivates me to keep going? At this point, well, really from the beginning, because I've always gotten great comments, what has kept me going, because it is a lot of work, has been the ability to interact with you guys. And I absolutely love reading and responding to comments and just interacting with people all over the world. And it's amazing. Most people that follow me on like Facebook and just like look at my Hike Oregon website, they're definitely Oregon based, or they're tourists coming to Oregon, whereas people that watch my channel are from all over the world just wanting to view either gear reviews or just wanting to view the beauties of Oregon. So I've really enjoyed that. A Jolly Hiker asked, if money were no concern, what tent and backpack would you own? So I changed this question a little bit because I still wanted to keep it in here. I changed it to what gear would I replace? Because I would not get a different tent or backpack, but I liked the question. So if money were no concern, what gear would I replace? I would replace my sleeping bag. So I would not replace my tent or my backpack. I really like my backpack, even though it's heavy, and I really like my tent. I mean, I would like to try the Z-Packs Duplex. That seems like a really awesome tent. And yes, maybe if money were no concern, I would buy it and just try it out. Sure. And also my sleeping bag. I would love to replace my sleeping bag for something lighter. My sleeping bag currently weighs right around 3 pounds, which is really heavy. So I would replace my sleeping bag. There's one at REI that I really like, and then Enlightened Equipment has some, but I kind of worry about the warmth of those bags. Some people say that the 20-degree bag didn't go to 20 degrees, which at that point it's not a 20-degree bag. Essex Plotter asked, who is the person or persons from history that you would like to have walked with? So my answer for this is definitely going to be a little unconventional. I would have to say I would love to have walked with my ancestors. My dad's mom, so my paternal grandmother, her family stems from gypsies in Romania. So I know that they used to travel around and walk, miles and miles and miles with all their belongings and did a lot of music and stuff like that. I think that's where I get my love for traveling and exploring. I love to explore new places. I really don't like going to places I've already explored. So my curiosity for new places, and then of course my talent and love for music, I think comes from that as well. But I would have loved to walk with my ancestors and see kind of what they went through and maybe how they hunted, how they lived, did they have tents? Did they have caravans? That'd be so interesting. So yeah, that's who I would walk with. Okay, Just Peachy asked, where do you get the music for your videos? Great question. 3 places. They're all on YouTube. Sephirus is my favorite. I'll link his channel below. And then I also get music from Bass Rebels, which is a no copyright music channel, and it looks like this. All their videos all their thumbnails kind of look like that, so you can recognize it. And then I also get music from Audio Library. It's just the YouTube Audio Library, no copyright music, and all their stuff looks like that. Those are the 3 places that I get my music from. Sometimes I will just randomly see something or hear something on YouTube that I really like that doesn't necessarily say no copyright, and I'll just message the artist, hey, can I use this for a video? And sometimes they'll say no, or you have to buy it, or sometimes they'll be like, yes, please, just credit me or something like that. So always ask if you're not sure. Keith Panay asked, what do you recommend for recharging devices on the trail? I highly recommend getting an Anchor battery pack. So Anchor makes battery packs of all sizes, like from just, 1 or 2 charges, iPhone charges, to like 7 to 10 iPhone charges. Like, they make huge battery packs as well as like pretty small ones. So I definitely recommend getting an Anchor. For the charges that you get, it is very worth the money, and they're not that heavy. I mean, they are heavy if you're getting like one of the huge ones. Most people get one that's like 5 to 10,000 milliamp hours, but yes, Anchor is the brand to go with. Chihiro Fukua asked, what do you do if you lose motivation during a trip? I recently went on a big trip, but I wasn't as motivated as usual and didn't feel very mentally strong. That's a great question. And I've definitely been in your shoes. Like, I have been there. If you look back on some of my Pacific Crest Trail vlogs, some of the days during that trip were mentally not so good. I think to get through that, you just have to keep going. It's probably a little harder if you wake up and you're mentally like, I don't want to do this. But I never had that issue. My mental stuff came on during my hiking. So as I was walking alone, I would start thinking about stuff. And then a lot of the time, if you're in a negative headspace, all of that stuff you're thinking about is negative. And then you lose steam really fast. So I would recommend, if you're hiking alone, maybe listen to a podcast or listen to music so that you're not constantly like thinking negative stuff, because that will really run you down. If you're hiking with people, just chat about stuff, try and laugh and be upbeat, maybe look at little things here and there and think about how beautiful that is, or try and find tracks on the trail, animal tracks or something like that. Like, just keep your mind occupied. I feel like once your mind goes into that dark place, it's hard to get out of. So just try not to let your mind even get there. Stay in your routine and stay walking, and try and like have little things to look forward to. Like, maybe you're really looking forward to your dinner that night, or it's raining maybe and you're like, I can't wait to get my sleeping bag, I'm so excited, Yeah, have some things that are positive during your day, and that will uplift you a little bit. But yeah, don't ever quit a trail on like a negative day. There's always going to be better days during your hike. Okay, so I have Guru Hiker Bot, who asked a few questions. The first one is, how definite is your through hike on the PCT? It's definite. We're gonna leave hopefully mid-July, depending on the winter and spring, depending on snow melt. And does your husband have any reservations about you doing it? Is he going? I don't think he has any reservations about me doing it. No, he's not going. I'm going with a friend, and there's multiple people along the way that want to hike sections with us as well. He knows I want to, and yeah, it's no big deal. And then his last question was, do you have something going where people can sponsor you for gear, aka Patreon? So let me circle back to that, okay? This kind of ties into the next and last question from Madeline Holmquist, who asked, do you have another job or do you work full-time with Hike Oregon? What is your goal with Hike Oregon? Okay, so all this ties together. Yes, I have a full-time job. I work in the digital services department at a hotel management group, full-time. So I'm in the office 5 days a week, 40 hours. And I basically do social media, reputation management, stuff like that for 15 properties. I can't, sometimes it's hard to keep track. And we're always opening new hotels too. So that's what I do. What are your goals with Hike Oregon? This is where the Patreon question comes in. So I've recently come to a place where I feel very overwhelmed with Hike Oregon, and I've been trying to do this for 3 years now, like trying to make it into a full-time career, and it's just not working because I can't dedicate enough time to it. I know that if I spent 6 months just doing Hike Oregon full time and I gave it my all, that it could make money and it could be my career. But I don't have 6 months worth of income to quit my job and try and make Hike Oregon happen full time. I currently barely have enough time to edit and upload the 2 YouTube videos a week. Right now I'm trying to get this book done, but I'm never caught up on the YouTube videos, so I never have time to work on the book that I've promised so many people would be out by November. And I feel really bad. It's not that I can't manage my time, it's just there's not enough time in the day. I come home, I work out, I cook dinner, I might do a load of laundry or something else that's necessary, and then I basically hole myself up in my office and work for 3 or 4 hours on Hike Oregon. That puts a lot of strain on my marriage, and my friendships. I feel like I never have time to go out with a friend and meet them for dinner or meet them for a drink and a chat. I would feel so guilty, or I wouldn't be able to enjoy myself with my friend if I, went and had a drink with them or something like that. So I don't want to feel like that for the rest of my life. And sorry, I get really emotional about this because I've been working so hard on this dream of mine, and it's so frustrating to not have it become what I want it to become, or not be able to, because I don't have the financial means. And I don't mean this to be like a sob story or anything like that, but talking about it gets me really emotional because I am really passionate about Hike Oregon and putting out content, and really what I want to be doing is, posting 2 to 3 hikes a month on the website so that people always have new content and always have new hikes. I mean, there's people that have been following the website since it started, and if I only put a new hike on there every 6 months, those people are going to leave because there's no new content and they're going to get bored. They've already done all the hikes that are on there. So the only way for my views to grow is for me to make new content. And when I can't do that because I don't have enough time, it's really frustrating. Yes, so my goal with Hike Oregon is I have set up a Patreon account to help facilitate me leaving my full-time job and me being able to only do Hike Oregon full-time. That means being able to post new hikes, 2 to 3 a month on the website, more YouTube videos, more gear reviews, more hike reviews. It means being able to travel to places around Oregon that I can't travel to now because of the limited time that I have. It would mean being able to go to Eastern Oregon, to Southern Oregon, all those places that I can't go to on a weekend because they're just too far away. It would allow me to do all of that. And if I can do all of that for 6 months, I know for a fact that Hike Oregon could be driving enough traffic to make a full-time income. So I have set up the Patreon account in hopes that some of you, friends and family, will help so that within the next year I would be able to do Hike Oregon full-time. Now, I have decided that if this doesn't happen in the next year, so by the end of 2018, if I don't have enough money to be able to quit my full-time job, that I would be quitting Hike Oregon. Because, like I said, I cannot burn the candle at both ends for much longer. I'm already feeling it now, and I'm still deciding to wait another year. So, yeah, that's just the reality of it. I don't want to miss out on friendships or ruin my marriage or, run myself down just to try and keep Hike Oregon going, because I know in my heart that 2 to 3 hours of work a day is not enough to make it be sustainable. And that's frustrating to me because I try so hard and I feel like I am burning the candle at both ends, but it's still not going anywhere. Yeah, that's that, and I'm sorry I got emotional. Trust me, ask my husband. Whenever I talk about Hike Oregon and how I can't do it full time, I get emotional. So yes, I will link the Patreon below, and I'll do a whole video on my Patreon and go through the different levels of sponsorship. With all the levels, you do get something, so just keep that in mind, whether it be the book when it comes out in a few months, or a personal Skype call or a personal meeting with me. That's one of the levels of contribution, is we can meet in person if you're close, or do a Skype call, go over gear, go over like a trip planning, that kind of thing. So some of the levels of sponsorship, that's really fun. Like, you get really fun things. Also, I did want to mention I will be having a big giveaway and stuff like that for Patreon members come December. So stay tuned for that. Even if you just sponsor $1, you will be part of all that giveaway stuff too. So again, I don't want to make this a sob story. I know tons of people who work their butts off and never get to live their dream life. You know, I understand that. I know that if I can't make this work, that I will have to give up that dream as well. So I'm not trying to say, hey, fund my dream, and I'm not trying to like make you feel sorry for me or anything like that. I just wanted to be real with you guys, because I know that when I watch YouTubers, when they are real with their viewers, is when I can relate to them the most. So to sum it up, my goals for Hike Oregon are that within the next year, I would be able to do it full time and bring you guys tons of content, new books coming out, area specific books, being able to go all over the region. I know so many people ask for Southern Oregon hikes. I have not been able to go there. And then of course, tons of YouTube videos, tons of online content, tons of website content, tons of new hikes. And so that's the goal. That is the goal with Hike Oregon. And I would love to do meetups and stuff like that sometime too. I think once the book is out, I'll do a meetup. Hopefully meet some of you guys. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about me and what I do. The Patreon link will be listed below. And if you have any questions or want to ask questions for the next Q&A, please ask those in the comments below as well. I always write them down and always have a list going for future Q&As. So if you want to get your question answered in the next Q&A, just put it below and I'll make sure it gets answered. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next adventure. Okay, bye.